There's a split second, a quiet, private decision you make when someone challenges you, accuses you, questions your value, your character, your intent. In that moment, the average person does what they were taught to do: defend. That's not what I meant. You misunderstood. I swear I'm not like that. It feels noble, reasonable, fair. To Machiavelli, it's the moment you lose everything. Because the instant you defend, you confess need, you admit, you require permission, absolution, approval. And in games of power, perception is everything. If they see you flinch, they don't see a victim, they see blood. Machiavelli grasped this brutal truth before most. The one who defends himself diminishes himself. The one who doesn't forces the world to defend him. Let's get precise. Defense convinces almost no one. It only costs you leverage because the act of justifying shifts you onto their ground. You accept their frame and silently agree, you have the right to judge me. Once you grant that right, they own the narrative. Even if you're correct, you look guilty because only the weak rush to explain. The strong let silence burn. They leave accusations hanging in the air because the real move is to turn charges into a mirror, make the accuser look over-emotional, obsessed, unstable. The one who speaks first often loses control of the frame. And Machiavelli knew, whoever controls the frame controls the outcome. Most people defend because they want to be understood. They believe that clarifying, repeating, pleading will earn exoneration. That belief is emotion, not strategy. You don't need clarity. You need control. Clarity is for therapy. Control is for power. Power doesn't come from being understood. It comes from projecting fear, respect, untouchability. So when they call you arrogant, cold, selfish, manipulative, and you rush in with, "No, you don't get it," you've already lost. You've shown you care. You've put the ball on their side of the court. You've surrendered the most Machiavellian asset of all, mystique. Think of the most formidable people you've met, not the loudest or most beloved, but the ones who wielded silence like a weapon, who made you doubt yourself with a glance and never twitched under fire. Machiavelli would put it plainly: the one who explains, submits. The one who keeps his counsel forces others to fill the void. And they almost always overestimate him. That's the game. When you don't react, discomfort spreads. Doubt creeps into their words. They go looking for backup and can't find it. Their power shrinks, yours expands. You've done what emotional people can't. You've made them argue with themselves. That's how you invert power, by letting the charge die in the echo of its own weakness. Go deeper. You walk into a room. Someone slides a barb across the table, subtle or blunt, a jab at your success, your attitude, your past. Eyes turn toward you, waiting. What do? Nothing. No defense, no counterpunch, no smirk, just stillness. In that moment, you're untouchable because the room starts wondering, why didn't he answer? Does he know something we don't? Is he above this? Did the attack make him stronger? You've flipped the social frame. People are no longer focused on the accusation. They're riveted by your reaction. Silence, anchored in self-command, speaks louder than 100 justifications. Machiavelli didn't just study politics. He understood psychology. Power lives less in what you say than in what people think you could say and choose not to. Sometimes the coldest move isn't merely to ignore the charge, but to invert it. You're manipulative. You give a faint smile, look past them and say, if that's what you think. No arguments, no apologies. Just clean, indifferent neutrality. What happens? They wobble. They wanted a fight. Your fluster, your scramble. Instead, they're left holding their own weapon. Guilt begins to seep in. They start to wonder if they overplayed their hand, if they've made themselves look insecure. And they have. You've handed their energy back to them without lifting a finger. There's a point at which silence becomes unbearable. Not for you, for the person who expected a reaction. Then the table turns. They thought they were the prosecutor. Now they're the one begging for attention. And you? You become more than not guilty. You become untouchable. Machiavelli understood words are often for hiding truth, not revealing it. When they attack you, they want you thrashing in fog, drowning in explanations. The more you explain, the less certain you appear. So let them fill the silence. They'll overreach, repeat themselves, start to look desperate and erratic. You've said nothing, but now they're on trial because crowds don't judge words. They judge who is calm and who is rattled. That is social power, and it comes less from being right than from being beyond reach. Picture the boardroom. Someone undercuts you. I'm not sure this strategy was thought through, or he's always so brash. They wait for your bite. Most people lean in, explain, justify, fidget. The room smells the nerves. The Machiavellian player leans back, waits, maybe lets a small smile rise. If he answers at all, he redirects, not defends. Walk us through your strategy. Now your critic must perform. The room shifts. The pressure sits on his chest. The silence of the composed is an accusation without words. It shrinks others without you lifting a blade. In love and friendship, the stakes are trickier. You don't care about me anymore. Average response? Panic? Reassurance? Capitulation? The emotional frame is confirmed. The Machiavellian approach is different. Don't swat it away or argue. Let the claim ring and fade. Then, I don't agree. Short, calm, without apology. Now they doubt their tone. Wonder if they overstepped. You just kept the tempo, which is the metronome of power. Whoever controls tempo owns the frame. A colder tactic still. Disappear. You were insulted? Don't reply. Don't acknowledge. Don't even block. Let your absence be the mirror. Let them sit with the silence of being ignored. It breaks people. They realize you didn't deem them worthy of a response and start replaying scenes in their head, losing composure. Why? Because most people live on emotional confirmation. Even conflict is a form of it. Remove it and they wilt. They post more, prod harder, try to bait a response. Each attempt shrinks them, makes them look needier, while you stay motionless. That's how you win, not by proving anything, but by letting them burn themselves down trying to extract your attention. The elite move is to turn the charge into proof of their weakness. You're arrogant. Strange how confidence upsets some people. You're manipulative. That's what the unsteady say when they can't be influenced. You're a hypocrite. People reach for that when they didn't get what they wanted. You do not deny, you alchemize. Their accusation becomes their insecurity. This isn't mere deflection, it's judo, using their emotional momentum against them. Machiavelli would call it turning the blade. Don't meet a sword with a shield. Let the attacker fall on his own steel. The world teaches you to guard your reputation, to explain, to cleanse your name. Machiavelli saw the trap. The chase for innocence is an admission of guilt. The true strategist won't play. He's too steady to flinch, too high to care, too sure of his position to explain. Those who reach to pull him down begin to look unhinged, jealous, weak. The more you defend, the more you look like you need to. The more you ignore, the more dangerous you appear. Power is born in that presumption. Most assume power lives in proving you're right, innocent, superior. Machiavelli would smirk. In proving, you submit to another court. Hand them the bench, and you hand them the leash. Imagine a dinner with colleagues. Someone snipes, "You always act like you know everything," or, "So humility still isn't your thing." Most people tense up, laugh too hard, explain, thinking they've saved face. They've only confirmed the hit landed. The Machiavellian player pauses 2 beats, scans the table with a light, amused look, and if he says anything at all, it's cool and distant. "You're emotional today," or "interesting take or nothing." Just a long, level gaze. The jab thrower squirms, hunts for allies, backpedals into "I was just joking," while the room's attention drifts from you to him. Your silence did the talking. He's the one being judged. Online, the tempo is faster. Comments, posts, DMs, bait everywhere. Machiavelli would carve this into your mind. In the court of public opinion, silence is guilt, unless it inspires fear. So use tactics, not pleas. Don't defend. Don't explain. Reframe. Called toxic? Skip the weepy thread. Right? People call dangerous what they can't control. You haven't defended. You've made the charge a badge. They look bitter. You look unbothered. The crowd starts to wonder who actually holds the reins. 3 tools instead of defense. Silence, cold, heavy, leaving them exposed. Reflection, shifting the frame without admitting the sting. Precise strikes, short, cutting closures that end the game. You're self-absorbed. Confidence scares the unsure. You're a hypocrite. I don't owe you authenticity. You think you're better than everyone. No, I just think differently. Not a defense, an assertion of rank. It doesn't say, I'm not guilty. It says, you can't touch me. The Machiavellian player isn't obsessed with being seen as good. He's willing to be seen as bad and move above it. When you refuse to defend, your enemies lose their balance. They came for a brawl. They swing at smoke. They escalate, get theatrical, reveal their insecurity. The harder they try, the higher you float in others' eyes. You don't destroy them. Their fixation on you does. Being misunderstood isn't dangerous. Being predictable is worse. The misunderstood keep their mystery. The predictable are easy to steer. Machiavelli knew, better to inspire fear than love if you can't have both. Better still to be inscrutable than predictable. Mystery makes others cautious. Caution slows attacks. And slow battlefields belong to you. Break one last illusion. To win, you don't need a good reputation. You need a strong one. A good reputation pleases. A strong one deters. It isn't always liked or trusted, but fools don't charge it head on. That's how power congeals when you don't defend. Your reputation becomes less about what people believe, more about what they fear you might do. The final evolution isn't silence, it's aura. A presence so settled that accusations evaporate before they arrive. Not numbness, deliberate imperturbability. When you stop defending, stop explaining, stop seeking permission. You cross a line where your existence is the defense. Power becomes light in the hand. Think about those who never post rebuttals, never write long answers, never spar with critics, and yet draw more respect. Why? Silence in the face of accusation becomes myth. Myth invites interpretation. Minds, deprived of explanation, fill the vacuum with strength. People decide you're dangerous, that you know something hidden, that you're so sure you won't blink under pressure. That's why they follow. Machiavelli didn't care about moral goodness. He cared about control. The one who doesn't defend always owns perception, even in a room full of lies. Paradox. The more you explain, the lonelier you look. No one steps in if you're already arguing for yourself. Stay calm, and you force others to argue for you. That was out of line. He didn't deserve that. Why are you on him? He didn't even respond. They become your shield while you hover above the noise, not merely respected, but elevated. This isn't built overnight. It's a fortress, raised brick by brick. Restraint, choosing quiet over reaction, refusing to explain more than necessary. Start here. Do not answer baited insults. Let them echo into nothing. To sideways jabs, use calm curiosity. So, that's your view? And stay serene. Use closing phrases. Noted? All right. Think what you like. Time will tell. Doors that shut without inviting debate. Study your face, posture, gaze. The Machiavellian player doesn't twitch or tense. Stillness is his armor. The calmer you are while others lose control, the more your power compounds. When people can't find your buttons, they grow wary. You're unpredictable, not chaotic, unreadable, a mirror reflecting their own instability. Machiavelli would say the most dangerous person isn't the one who strikes first. It's the one who never needs to strike. Attacks end not because you parry them, but because people learn. They'll lose before they begin. You don't play defense. You let others destroy themselves trying to reach you. Strength still reacts. Sovereignty doesn't register the blow. That is the Machiavellian ideal. You don't win arguments. You end them by never starting, because you do not reply. You're no longer in the public dock. You're above the court. The only bench that matters is your own. From now on, you live not in defense, but in definition. You define your image, your cadence, your silences. People feel certainty in your eyes, composure in your stance, danger in your quiet. You don't resist, you command. Then rooms hush, enemies soften, and your name gains weight. Not because you fought for it, because you never explained it.